Yeah, here we are again for our fourth, isn't it? Our fourth LinkedIn Live, which is also going out on Facebook and on Instagram.
And
I'm
on
here with
YouTube.
the lovely Gina. Oh, and your YouTube channel,
And
and
my
that's,
YouTube
that's
channel.
amazing. That's
Hello,
amazing.
YouTube.
So I'm here with the lovely Gina, and today's subject is a real, it's a passion of mine, and it's a hashtag thingy bobs that I've started. I use it quite a lot, and it's the BVONT, and that stands for the best version of myself today. I use it a lot in my coaching practice. Um, it's definitely a non-judgmental approach to well-being, um, empowerment, and actually, sort of moving forward in the knowledge that, yeah, we all have hiccups and bumps in the road. So to start off, I'm going to really ask you, Gina, because I'm interested to know, what do you do every single day to move yourself towards being the best version of yourself today? What do you do?
Well, I definitely have a morning practice. My morning practice morphs and changes depending on how much time I've got and what I feel like effectively. But it is a self-care ritual. It always starts off with me going to the loo and cleaning my teeth. That's my sort of getting up thing. And then I've got a series of exercises from different places in the room that I do. I've got some meditation. I do some journaling sometimes. I do EFT tapping, if anybody's ever done that. So I do some rounds of that sometimes. I go outside and feed my guinea pigs. That's a daily thing. And I quite often I do that in bare feet, so I get grounded. And I think all of that, all of those sort of types of things are all about filling myself up first. So when things happen that are unexpected or unwanted, then I can respond from a better place than I would do necessarily if I hadn't given myself that time to connect and ground and allow myself just time to be, really.
And I would imagine, Gina, and look, I'm not outing you here because it's right across the social media platforms and everything like that. I would say that every single day presents challenges in different ways to you. Living a life with a chronic health condition and running a business can't be easy.
That's yeah, that's fair to say. That is very true. And what I've been practicing recently consciously, I think I was probably doing it maybe not as conscious, but it came up over the weekend, this idea of acceptance. And I talk about acceptance in my coaching, but actually accepting each and every moment for how it is. Because I recognize even though I practice all this stuff, I've still got a lot of judgment that comes up in my head when I don't quite make it to the loo in time, or when I fall over, or when I haven't made any money on my business this month, or the client that I was hoping didn't come through, whatever it is. It's very easy to get caught up in, I should be further along than I am. That should word comes in. And you can tell when you're not being fully accepting when you're using the word should. So, my invitation to anybody who says it should be better than this, they should be doing this, I should be here, whatever it is, then you're not practicing acceptance as well as you could be, is my invitation. And that's
Mm.
just about recognizing that in this moment, and even saying it to yourself, even if you've just fallen over on the floor and you've wet yourself, how can you accept that that is okay? Because that's what it is. You can get angry with it, you can get upset, you can get frustrated. Then just allow yourself to be with those feelings. And I'm I'm talking now like I so practiced at this. It's evolving and I'm learning. And even as I'm talking to you now, it feels like I'm better today than I was yesterday. And I think that's what you talk about, the best version of yourself today. It's it's ever evolving. And some days you're not going to be there. Some days you're going to be angry, you're going to be frustrated, you're going to allow the emotions to come out. But it really, I can honestly say I can't remember the last time I had a complete and utter meltdown where I wasn't fully aware of where my emotions were. It's quite amazing, really.
I've got a question for you, Gina, but I'm just going to say something before I ask that question, okay? Because we've got several people watching our live today, which I'm super excited about.
Awesome. Say hello. I can see your messages.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say was that if any of you that are watching have got any questions for us, it'd be great. Just stick them in the chat, and if we can. If we can point you in the right direction, we definitely will. We definitely will. And the question I've got for you, Gina, is that you talked about meltdowns there, didn't you? Right? And I think I see it massively in my coaching and therapy practice with people where they have meltdowns and they're not living with a chronic health condition. Yeah. Whenever you have had a meltdown, Gina, how has it one benefited you or two affected you? Which come on, tell me.
What, you're going to ask me when I've had a meltdown? I think I used to spend a very long time in overwhelm. And this certainly around when I first started my business, where there was so many options and so many things I could be doing. And that overwhelm space just almost shrouded me and drowned me and just made it impossible to do anything. In fact, the best thing that I could do then is the easiest possible, take some sort of action. And it's going to sound a bit crazy, was to wash up. Because washing up is something that it doesn't actually take that long. Even if you've got days and days of it there and you think it's going to take ages, once you actually start through it, and you might have to do a couple of rounds when you dry because you've got so much. But actually, it's a very simple thing. You don't have to think about it too much. And then the kitchen looks serene. So, yeah, washing up, I think, is I haven't really thought about it before, but it is my go-to. I like to wash up before. I haven't got a dishwasher. I've never had a dishwasher. I like to wash up. Who would have thought? Washing up is my therapy. I don't like drying up so much these days. It's not drying up because putting it away means a few more steps. But washing up, I can lean against the sink and I can feel like I'm making a difference.
I mean, what you're talking about there, Gina, is one of the most, I think it's actually one of the most powerful things that a human being can do to solve a problem or see a clear path. And that is simply paying attention to the present on purpose. You know? And we have a link to we've had someone say hello to us, a LinkedIn user. I can't see who it is, but we've got quite a few people on there.
So. I've got a couple from YouTube. We've got Svetlana. Hello, Svetlana. Oh, she's going now. Oh, bye, Stella. And a LinkedIn user. Yay! This is exciting. Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, when you actually really boil it sounds so simple. Paying attention to the present on purpose is a powerful thing because it stills your mind. So when you're washing up and you're concentrating on that plate and you're imagining, you can feel how squeaky clean it is, and you can hear that movement when you've got all the grease off the plate. It's an amazing feeling, isn't it, that you've done a job and you've done it extremely well. And really, that's what we should really be doing about every single job or every single task that we have in our life. And we tend to walk into these tasks with resistance, don't we?
Well, I
We
think
don't.
when you talk about resistance and accepting the which goes back to the, not accepting the present moment. So even in that now, I can see in those feelings of overwhelm, I would be, when they come across me now, and I feel it, and I can feel it earlier on before it takes over my world. I can, because I'm more sensitive to it, because I've done the work about feeling your feelings. And at no point in our journey until we become a coach do we ever talk about feeling your feelings. It's just something that, in fact, quite the opposite. Oh, you're okay here. That's why we're all. That's a bit of a blanket statement, but why many of us are addicted to sugar and cake, because that has been our crutch when things go wrong, or having a drink, or having a cigarette, or whatever it is. So the crutches come in because they act as our feeling buffer. And what we're doing now, and I think that's one of the maybe the foundation pieces of reasons why people have chronic illnesses, because we've got things that are stuck in our body that have not been allowed to really be felt. I don't know, would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. I truly believe that at the root of many chronic health conditions is trapped trauma. And when I talk about trauma, I'm not talking about a car crash or a terrible event that's happened in life. I'm talking about an event that has actually created a negative view of the world for yourself. It's something that you believe to be true about you, but it's not true. And some of these things can really dramatically play on our well-being, because it's what I call it's a trapped trauma. It's a trapped belief. It's a limiting belief. Um, I was thinking when I was listening to you talking, and I said to you, I said, where has meltdowns ever got you and stuff like that. Now I was thinking to myself about when was the last time I actually had a meltdown. I've been thinking, and I can actually honestly say this to you, that I haven't had a meltdown, like an emotional meltdown, since May 2007.
Wow.
It's quite a long time. I mean, look, I'm not going to go into the event because I don't really want to bring the mood down. Okay. But I had, and it's out there on the internet and people can read about it. But I had a life-changing event in May 2007, and I do call it I've called it many things, but I call it my justice moment. It was that moment where I realised that now is the only time that actually matters, and what we do now will help us create what we want to create in the future.
Can I just add to that? It's not always about what we do now either. It's how we are now. So how we feel now in this moment. Because we talked about this just before we came on, didn't we? About talking about, is there good or bad? Is there good and bad in the world? And actually, good and bad, right or wrong, that's perception, depending, which side which side you're sitting on. Does it look good or bad? Does it look right or wrong? Actually, what happens, and it's how we respond to it and how we move forward from that thing. So whether you're experiencing now like an illness, a diagnosis, a breakup, a death of a loved one, any of these horrible things that nobody wants, is it good or bad? Is it right or wrong? Or is it just is?
In NLP terms, you're talking about positive intentions.
Okay.
So, with every action, there's a positive intention, even if it's what we perceive to be a bad person doing something. For that bad person that we perceive as bad, there's a positive intention for them, isn't there? So most actions that we take have a positive intention, even when we're talking about chronic health, right? Which we do a great deal because we both live with it. But even that act of going, oh my God, this is so bad, I'm going to sit on the couch and I'm going to what do they call it when you watch?
Oh, binge watch.
That's it, binge. Right, I'm going to binge watch a load of crap on whatever flicks. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
When someone does that, I think I would definitely try to discourage that. Right? But there's a positive intention for that person because they're going, well, look, I'm giving up and I'm going to do. It's a positive intention for them. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And something like that, it takes you out of, because I did that on Saturday afternoon and binge watch one short series, and what it does is totally takes you out of where you are right now into some fictional world where it doesn't matter. So for that in itself, it lightens. So anything that we use as a crutch, I mean, it's okay doing it once in a while. What becomes not healthy, I suppose, is when it's like that's what you're doing all the time and you're not facing what's going on with you right now. So you're using a crutch. That's what crutches are for, isn't it? Whether it's TV, whether it's drugs, alcohol, chocolate, whatever it is, it takes you out of the present moment. And what we are practicing now more and more is to be in the present moment and fully embracing it, and even maybe finding joy in it, even when from the outset doesn't look very joyful at all.
Yeah. Without a doubt. I suppose really I should share some of the things I do during my day to be the best version of me.
Absolutely. Sorry, Chris, I should have definitely asked, because this uses your BVOMT hashtag opportunity. Please take it away. And where did it come from as well? I'm quite interested in that, because this is definitely something you've brought into my world. So,
do you know what? It's a really interesting question because it's just something that. Where did it come from? I don't know. I think it was. I think I was doing some work. I think I was creating some workshops or something. I was doing something, and I was in a bit of a creative mode, and it sprung to mind, and we live in a world of acronyms, don't we?
We do quite like them, don't we?
and I listen into sometimes, and I'm invited to meetings, especially within the health arena, especially with health professionals, right? And I've got to be honest with you, Gina. I sit in there sometimes and I think, I don't know what you're bloody talking about, because in acronyms, and I have to write down the letters, and then I have to research what the hell they were talking about.
What's quite funny, if you ever actually put your hand up in one of these meetings and ask, there'll be quite a few people in the room that don't know what they're talking about either.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. But anyway. So what do I do? What do I do? I always start my day with a positive intention. I nourish my body with some nice, fresh, cold, filtered water. about 500 millilitres of that I will drink. I do stretching. I don't know how MS affects you, Gina, but I tend to be very. I'm a bit worried about saying this because I'm sure it'll be misconstrued for a bloke, but I tend to be rather stiff in the morning in my legs and my back and all that sort of stuff.
Clarified that, yeah.
So yeah, like getting mobile. I nourished my body with some breakfast, and I start out. I do tend to practice in what I'm grateful for. On when I'm going back to 2007, I did used to start my day with when I woke up in the morning. I used to say, "Wow, I've woken up. I'm breathing. Today is going to be a good day." And I still really run with that mantra. Really, I'm just chilled. Really, I'll get in the gym. I'm passionate. I'm absolutely passionate for everybody to do some sort of resistance exercise. And if you can turn it into a daily routine, even better. But functional movement is a massive thing for me. Functional movement. I'm not talking about getting in the gym and starting to try and look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or anything like that. I'm talking about functional movement. That ability to get a tin of beans off the top shelf.
I was just because one of the exercises you gave me, so I kneel down or kneel up. That gives me balance, and then I've got my water bottle. I usually have it full, and just literally doing one arm at a time up and down. That's one of my daily exercises. I don't do it every day, but it's in my forum when I do the whole lot.
I'm pleased to hear that someone listens to me. Well done.
Absolutely, always, Chris, always. And actually, you talking about that and setting an intention for the day. One of the things that I do as well is I open the front door, I stick my head outside the front door, and just say good morning to the world. And I've got a little prayer that I say, and just hello world, it's me again. Here I am. Yeah.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah,
that's
really nice.
Yeah, I tend to stick my head out the door and see if it's hot or cold.
Well, yeah, you get that as well, and you get to the feeling, and you sort of put your head around, and sometimes you can see the sun coming up, depending what time it is. And
and I'm looking over, and we've got the most blackest, darkest clouds.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got my windows open, and I'm thinking,
oh, we're in for some rain.
I think, yes.
Well, we do need some rain, don't we? Our ground
we
is
do.
Dry.
We absolutely do. But anyway, look, just to move on, really. Both myself and Gina, we have a great deal of experience within the chronic health arena, without a doubt. One of Gina's real qualities, and I mean real qualities, is she's a very professional and passionate speaker. So I would encourage people, if you're looking for a powerful, passionate speaker, give Gina a DM or whatever, because I'm sure she could ignite your crowd towards a more compelling life, if you like, I think.
Well, thank you, Chris. And yeah, I am very passionate about changing perspective. You're talking about accepting what is and just responding in a different way. And while we're in the mood of bigging each other up a little bit, I mean, Chris is just, not only is he a coach, he's a hypnotherapist and he's a therapist, and he's definitely a healer, and he gets to the root cause of what the issue is. And he was just sharing with you, he won't share it because he's a bit shy and a bit humble, but actually his latest client, which is a young lady, already with just a couple of sessions, her loved ones are seeing a marked difference in her, overall self-esteem. I think really is, the power, what it takes when just a few coaching sessions you can get rid of some of that, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, the self-belief. I think that's what it is, igniting the belief in self, because once we've got that, then then our future becomes a lot clearer and a lot more able to be reached. Definitely.
Oh, thank you for that. Thanks, Gina. Thank you. And we've been, me and you, we've been talking about, because we only decided to do 4 of these lives, but we've been talking about continuing them. And I think that's going to be a reality, that we will be continuing them. I can't remember what we were going to be talking about.
We were going to talk about the idea of, are you brave enough?
That's right, yes.
Are you brave enough? And it's interesting because from that, are you brave enough with, certainly in the restraint, I don't want to say restraints, but in the the world of chronic illness, are you brave enough to look inside for the answers? Because we both believe that it's incurable, because the cure is within. But it does take a brave person to pick up a mirror and to really, really look in the shadows, look in the darkness, look in the good, the bad. Remember, it's just perception. And what we do as coaches is help you do that, give a safe, non-judgmental space. It doesn't matter what comes out in our space. It is safe and it is allowed. And once, it doesn't take as long as you think either, does it, Chris? Once you actually start uncovering what's inside, it is really magical to discover who you are. And I think that's the gift in it for me. And another little phrase that's come up for me when I've been doing some journaling and thinking over this last weekend is the chronic rebels. So I'm looking for chronic rebels, so someone who's like, it feels like a bigger piece, because in order to take this journey, you have to be a bit of a rebel. You have to have a deep rebel within. And I think we've all got it within us somewhere. It gets knocked out of us through our schooling system and through our societal system and through our idea of getting into the workplace. But actually, I'm inviting you to ignite that inner rebel and come and see what can be released when that rebel is allowed to thrive, because we're put in boxes from a very early age, and I don't think that helps keep us well. Is my honest opinion.
I think also, Gina, I'm going to say this. Look, you don't have to have a chronic condition to benefit from what we're saying.
Definitely not.
The
chronic rebel just comes from, just if you've got something inside you which is not sitting right, then time to speak.
Yeah, and so the title, "Are You Brave Enough?" applies to anyone, really. Anyone that's looking for change in their life, anyone that's looking to do something slightly differently. When you actually look at it, the thing that's going to stop you making that change is fear. It's always fear. It will be fear of something. And, I can hear people now saying that, I'm not scared of anything, sort of thing. Well, if you're not creating change, you are, because there's a fear of something there.
Definitely. definitely. And it's
So we will publish what we're going to go forward. We haven't decided fully on the time, the day and the time yet, but it will be pushed and it will be advertised on our social media platforms. I look forward to seeing you all. If anyone who's watching, and we've got a few people watching at this moment in time, has any questions for us, please take this opportunity to ask us now, or you can DM us afterwards if you want it to be a little bit more private. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes just to ask us a question in the chat. If not, see you next time.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, and it was really, it's nice to see that we've started engaging people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we had quite a few people on at one point. You know?
You want to switch off live now?
Yes, I will. I just
Fantastic.
wanted to give people just a little. I said I'd give them a little bit of
Oh, a
time
little
just to
moment. No one else has come in. We've got
just
a.
in case. No,